Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ali Ehsassi, and I'm the Member of Parliament for Willowdale. The reason I'm here with friends here is, as you know, November 2nd is the UN International Day to End Impunity for Crimes Against Journalists. That having been said, when I was approached by the Dashty Foundation to do an event on Afghanistan, I obviously welcomed it with open arms. So I'm joined here today by Ms. Sayara Dashty, who is the founder and executive director of the Dashty Foundation. I'm also here with Mr. Lotfullah Najafizada, who is the founder of Amu Media, which is based in Washington but has offices in Canada and Istanbul. And also we have Mr. Siyar Habibi, who's the leader of Youth Senators Parliamentary Group. The event that was convened in partnership with the Dashty Foundation today, we had an opportunity to speak about various developments in Afghanistan. Of course, there was some reference to Richard Bennett, who's the special rapporteur on the situation in Afghanistan, who recently released a report about how the walls are closing and how there is an institutional system of discrimination. This is against women and girls, but also against all communities in Afghanistan. There was also some discussion about the legal case that has recently been commenced by Canada, Australia, Germany, and the Netherlands at the International Court of Justice against the Taliban. So we were very grateful to hear from the German ambassador here in Ottawa, from the Dutch ambassador here in Ottawa, as well as Ambassador Jacqueline O'Neill about the reason why they decided it was high time to take this necessary legal action. After that, we had the opportunity to hear from Mr. Najafizada, who explained the dire situation insofar as the media is concerned in Afghanistan, and then heard from 5 or 6 other individuals who used to be journalists in Afghanistan, are obviously watching developments very, very closely, and had an opportunity to present to members of parliament and senators as well. Another speaker we were grateful to hear from today was Ambassador Bob Rae. Ambassador Bob Rae, as you can imagine, is very integral to Canada's approach to Afghanistan, and he is also very, very outspoken in New York, and is one of the few diplomats who consistently talks about gender apartheid, which is unfolding in Afghanistan. So without much further ado, I will hand the mic first to Ms. Dashty, who will speak on behalf of the Dashty Foundation, and then to Mr. Najafizada and Mr. Habibi as well. Thank you. Ms. Dashty.
وقت بخیر. امروز ما برنامه را که به پارلمان کانادا داشتیم تشکری میکنم از پارلمان کانادا آقای احساسی، جوان سپاس از همکاری همیشگیشان. امید دارم که این کنفرانس امروز ما بتونه که آینده خوبی را برای ما داشته باشه. معلوم دار است که دولت کانادا همیشه حمایت داشته، اما انشالله که حمایت های بیشتری از اونا خواهان هستیم.
Hello everyone. I'm glad that we had today the Afghanistan-Canada dialogue on media censorship by the Taliban in Afghanistan. I'm thankful to Parliament of Canada and especially Mr. Ali Ehsassi, who effortlessly helped us to organize today's event. We know that the government of Canada always supported people of Afghanistan, and we are looking for more because we are living in the same world and we are in this together. So I hope today's conference will open a door to further dialogues and discussions about the situation in Afghanistan. Thank you.
Thank you. It was indeed a privilege for Afghan journalists to be hosted here in the Parliament of Canada, particularly by our friend Minister Ehsassi and the Dashty Foundation, where Afghan journalists came here, engaged with Canadian officials, senators, members of parliament, and ambassadors from Germany and the Netherlands to talk about not only the challenges in Afghanistan, but also about the possibilities of what can be done. One area in particular was how to deal with the situation of female journalists and women in Afghanistan in particular. But also we talked about the fact that the Taliban have waged war against journalists and media, and it's important for the Afghan journalists in the diaspora, in exile, to work with those who are inside the country in order to make sure they document every Taliban atrocity, to make sure Afghanistan's period under the Taliban rule is well documented and is not forgotten. And thanks to the efforts of these journalists, and particularly thousands of them on the ground, Afghanistan today remains under very close watchful eyes of the international community. So this was indeed an enormous opportunity for all of us, and we hope that the Canada-Afghanistan dialogue will expand and focus on other thematic topics, and we look forward to engaging with you, Mr. Ehsassi, and the Dashty Foundation on future topics as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Today's Afghanistan-Canada dialogue on media censorship brought together a strong alliance of voices: Afghan journalists, international diplomats, Canadian policymakers, and human rights advocates to address the crucial need for press freedom and human rights in Afghanistan. I'm especially proud of the involvement of the Youth Senators Parliamentary Group, YSPG, our youth organization, which served as a key political organizer and facilitator for this event. The YSPG is committed to empowering young people to engage in meaningful political advocacy, and today's gathering represents our dedication to inspiring youth and defending fundamental rights and freedoms. Our group believes that the responsibility to uphold freedom of expression and human rights transcends generations, and youth have a unique role to play in amplifying these values. Through our participation in this dialogue, the Youth Senators Parliamentary Group has taken a stand to support Afghan media freedom and civil rights, and we are calling on young Canadians and youth around the world to join us on this vital cause. By mobilizing youth to act, we are building a movement committed to defending justice, advocating for truth, and challenging censorship. I also want to highlight that here in Canada, the Afghan diaspora is incredibly fortunate to have many experts within our community whose voices deserve to be heard. We are enriched by former Afghan senators, ministers, diplomats, educators, civil society members, media professionals, and passionate and professional youth, each bringing valuable perspectives and experiences. Canada, as their new home, has the opportunity to empower these voices, allowing them to contribute meaningfully to society and share their insights on these important issues. I extend my deepest thanks to all participants, especially Honorable MP Ali Ehsassi for facilitating this, and partners who helped bring this event into fruition. We look forward to continuing our work and inspiring young people to champion freedom of expression and human rights in Afghanistan and beyond. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sia. As you heard today was about empowering not just youth, but decision makers as to the situation unfolding in Afghanistan. And as was noted, and as everyone could see, we are truly blessed as a country here in Canada to be home to a sizable Afghan community. And within that community, we have some of the best who are watching developments in Afghanistan very, very closely, and it's imperative that Canadian decision makers go to them to tap into their expertise and make sure that Canada continues to remain responsive to developments in Afghanistan. Do we have any questions from the media?
If you are a journalist on Zoom, please use the raise hand function to ask a question. Si vous êtes un journaliste sur Zoom, s'il vous plaît, utilisez la fonction main levée. This concludes the press conference. C'est ce qui conclut la conférence. Merci.
Thank you very much. Very grateful indeed.